The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey, everybody, it's from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and Apple. Over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful country singer, songwriter, very talented musician from outside Toronto who's got some great hit songs coming out, and she'll be playing a couple as well, too. She began at the age of 10 playing in local restaurants, which we're all hungry for. She won quite a number of awards, including the largest Rip Fest, which I'm looking forward to going to. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios outside Toronto, ladies and gentlemen, the next country singer-songwriting sensation, Paige Rutledge. Paige, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Mike. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, excited to have you on as well, too. So you first started off at the age of 10 playing local restaurants. You won as emerging artist at Canada's large Rib Fest. We can talk more about that. You also got a few songs out called Without Me, From the Heart, Hey Girl Amore, too. You'll play a couple songs on that. You also won some awards as well, too. I mean, you're off to a great start. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started.
Yeah, it's been exciting, especially these last couple, I guess, like the last 2 years have been really great. But so I actually got started. I always loved to sing when I was little, like huge Shania Twain fan. She was my first concert when I was 4 or 5. I went with my mom, and apparently I told my mom on the way home that I was going to be Shania Twain when I grew up. But so I just kind of loved to sing. I never really took it as anything that I was going to do. It's actually kind of sad how I guess I got into it, but my grandfather, I used to spend a lot of time with my grandparents growing up. That's how I found my love for country music. I spent so much time with them, so I was forced to listen to those great country classics that we consider. So thanks to them for that, I guess. But I saw my grandpa, and he got really sick in 2007, so when I was about 9 years old, and he said that in order to make him feel better, I would sing to him. And so I started singing to him and really, I guess, started to fall in love with just like how powerful music can be. So he ended up passing away, and I sang at his funeral. And it was honestly in that moment, I was still so young. I was 9 years old, but I knew in that moment that this is what I wanted to do. And I just think it was one of those moments where I felt how powerful music can be. And it can be there for you at some of the lowest points in your life and some of like the highest points in your life. And I think that's really, really special. So it was really in that moment that I knew I wanted to be a singer, but I didn't start taking it seriously till I was about 16, because it's tough. It's a really tough industry. And when you're 10, you're like, yeah, I'm just going to wake up and be a singer. So it was like when I was 16, started playing some bigger, like local Rib Fest and some local festivals, getting into some of the bigger festivals. And it's kind of just been like a little bit of a journey ever since then. Each year seems to be getting a little bit better with more opportunities and larger audiences. So hopefully it keeps heading in this uphill direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you talk about the Rib Fest and other fests as well, too. Now, did you go and sign up for the Rib Fest, or did they come to you and ask to perform?
So I learned really, really young that if I wanted to do this, I was going to have to put my name out there absolutely everywhere. So I used to spend like hours a day just emailing anywhere and would play anywhere that would let me sing. And to me, it's just any opportunity is an opportunity. It doesn't matter how big or how small the venue is or how many people are there. And you never know who is there and who's watching you. So I try to take every opportunity, and I really work to just reach out to a bunch of different places daily just to see what opportunities can come out of it. With Burlington Rib Fest, which is Canada's largest Rib Fest, that's the one that I just won back in September of 2019. It was a video submission, and they only select 3 acts. So that one was a submission. Wow. Yeah, which was pretty exciting.
I thought that was based on your love of ribs, or what kind of ribs do you like to have? So now,
right.
and of course, you know, what if you have eaten ribs? What is your favorite style or type of rib, and what's your favorite sauce on ribs?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I try to get something new every time I go to the different Rib Fests, because I played a couple. I've done Toronto. I've done Burlington. I've done Muskoka, which is my favorite because Muskoka's up in cottage country. So it's just absolutely gorgeous. Like the stage literally looks out onto the lake. It's absolutely beautiful. But I'm a pretty basic person when it comes to food. I'm a really picky eater. I try new things. I don't always love it. I kind of just go back to like a basic sweet barbecue sauce each time.
Oh, man. It's like if you really got into ribs, I do Kansas City. And when I'm up in Toronto, we have to have some of it as well, too. We'll talk more about influences in just a minute, but first listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com, You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with country singer, songwriter Paige Rutledge here on The Mike Wagner Show. She's a winner of a few Rip Fests and got early playing at local restaurants. And let's go back to some of your influence as well, too. And before we get to some of your favorite artists, who are some of the country artists that your parents and grandparents listened to that you enjoyed in terms of the traditional country music?
Yeah. I love Dolly Parton. I mean, who doesn't love Dolly Parton? I think what inspires me most about her is she is such a, and this is actually just in country music in general. This is why I love country music so much, is it's so much based on storytelling. And I think Dolly has such a unique way of telling stories. And especially as like a young female artist in the industry wanting to be in this industry, she's a great inspiration. Shania Twain is easily like hands down my girl. She is, it's cool. She's a Canadian girl. She's really, well, she's a little bit further north, but from Ontario, which is also just super inspiring because, you know, Shania can do it. Anybody else, a young girl like me, can do it as well. So definitely if I had to pick two or go back to kind of like the more classic influences, Dolly for sure. And I guess Shania Twain is more of that pop kind of country sound going on. But if I had to narrow it down to one person, it would for sure be her, just because of all that she's accomplished and where she comes from. And I just think that's really cool.
And what about another fellow Canadian country singer, Terry Clark? What are your thoughts on her?
Love Terry Clark. Not as big as a Terry Clark fan as I am Shania Twain, just because I don't think I missed a Shania Twain record. I have every single one. But I do love Terry Clark. I've never seen her live. She's on my list of people to see.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that'd be a bucket list as well, too, since the pandemic is done. And how about some of your other favorite artists and other singers and musicians growing up besides what you talked about in the country realm?
Oh, I spent a lot of time, besides listening to country, obviously I was into like the pop singers like Hilary Duff, and Miley Cyrus kind of falls into who I listened to growing up. But I would say, like, I guess if I had to pick one, it'd be Hilary Duff. I just thought she was really cool. And, you know, like that teenage pop star that everyone wants to be. Who didn't want to be Hilary Duff growing up?
and of course, too, that how would you describe your unique, brand of singing? It's like, you know, everybody has all these unique genres, pop country or metal country or anything like that. How would you describe your sound?
So that's actually a really great question. And I've spent the last year kind of, because it's tough. And you're right. Like every artist has to have that sound that makes them stand out besides everybody else. So I spent the last year as I'm getting into like really seriously pursuing this, trying to figure out what my sound is. And I've realized a lot of it, I do have a lot of that kind of new kind of country pop influence, but I also try to draw from kind of that 2000s, like early 2000s Shania Twain vibe with the pop side of it, I guess I would say. Not so much like all the electronic new kind of country stuff that's coming out, which is just as great. But I do really like that early 2000s sound. And I know that when I listen back to my music, I think it has a little bit more of that kind of early 2000s, like low-key pop-ish, but just enough there to make you kind of still want to dance along.
And he also wrote some songs too called Without Me, From the Heart, and Hey Girl. You can tell us all about those. And if you have other music as well too, and if you have an upcoming EP as well, you can tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I released my first EP back in 2000. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what year we're in. 2020. So it was 2018, which seems way longer ago than I guess it actually was. But yeah, that was my first time releasing. I had released a couple singles prior to that, but I was really, really young. So recording my first EP, that one was called Hey Girl. And that one was fun because it was my first time kind of getting to do something like as big as a project as that, recording and writing 6 different songs. And it was fun because I released a single from that one called Just Friends. And Just Friends actually ended up getting some local like spotlight country play, which was really awesome. It got some campus and university radio stations, and I got to do a music video. So what I take away from that was the whole learning experience, getting to be in the studio for that many hours at a time, kind of seeing how everything's recorded, how everything's produced, everything's mixed and put together. So that was a huge learning experience. And then I released, that was 2016. Oh my gosh, that was even longer. 2018 was when I released my second EP, getting my years all mixed up. Too much going on. 2018 was when I released From the Heart, which was my most recent EP. And that one had Just Friends on it, not Hey Girl. That one had Just Friends. So that was the one that, even though I just said the wrong name of my own EP, I knew it meant the year, and what I was talking about is still the same thing. It was that huge learning process, getting into the studio, learning how everything got put together. Getting to the music video was a really great experience. It was my first time ever getting to have an opportunity like that, kind of sitting down, doing all that fun budgeting and how are we going to make this work? How are we going to fit all these costs in? Studio time is expensive. Musicians are expensive. Putting that all together. And then in the last 2 years, so like kind of after that, I really started getting into co-writing. And I think co-writing is super important. So I started working with this guy, Sean Moore, which he's based out of Waterloo, just outside of Toronto as well. And that was when we wrote Without Me, which is my most recent single, which I released in January. And Without Me was kind of the first, I would say, like, more serious single that I put forward, a little different than had some stuff I had released prior, because I really pushed some radio play for that one and just trying to get some more playlisting. And I really took that as a serious song to kind of be like, this is Paige Rutledge. Like, this is my sound. This is what I want to sing about. And actually, I just found out, I was looking online the other day because I was on my Apple Music profile and my artist stuff like that. And it got radio play in Australia. And I was like, I know. I was like, Australia, out of all places, but I'll take it. Kind of cool to be on the other side of the world. So
they got a really good country scene down there too, like Luke Bryan and a bunch of others as well too. I mean, they've got a happening music scene down there too. And one of the artists I spoke to, came from the land of down there and talked about Route 66, and that is a very, very hot area in terms of country, along with you guys, United States, and a few others. Seems like you got the big three just going at it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I actually didn't realize, I did a little bit of research after that and was on Instagram looking through some social media stuff. And yeah, there are some really phenomenal Australian country artists that I found. And I was looking through the other artists that were played on that radio station. And I did not realize how big the country music scene is in Australia, which is really cool. So I guess I learned that, took that away as a cool new experience. So yeah, and then throughout this whole pandemic, obviously as horrible and awful as it's been, it's given me a lot of time to actually sit down and kind of figure out where I am, where I want to go, who I want to be as an artist. And I've been doing a lot of songwriting, and I've had the time to do it, to just sit down. I actually was up at my cottage for the whole entire, just home for the day actually, but I've been up at my cottage, which is in a small town called Washago. And that's where I do majority of my writing. It's my kind of like little inspirational place. I sit on the dock, I look out at the lake, and that's where I write my music. So to be up there from March till now was super beneficial to me. And like, I took so much time to just sit and write songs. So I actually have another song that I'm currently recording right now that's supposed to come out at the end of August. And then another, which is called Take Me Back to Tiki, a fun little kind of country summer song. And then another single coming out in hopefully the fall. This one's still a question mark of when it's actually going to be released, if it's going to be the fall or early 2021. We'll see about this one. But then, yeah, so another single. So 2 new singles in the next couple months, which is really exciting.
And just a couple more things before you have, we'll play a song or two as well, too. You talked about being in the studio, watching how things are put together, studio time, everything. Do you see yourself in the future, besides being a singer and songwriter and musician, being like a producer or engineer or anything beyond that?
It's funny. I've thought about that. I don't know. The more I've sat there in like the last, especially during these 2 projects over quarantine, obviously it's been a little more secluded and less people involved. So I got to learn a lot more and watch the process, and kind of, it's been great because they've given me, like the people I work with have given me opportunities to try some things that like on that producing or mixing side of it, and just to learn how to use all the equipment and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't know if it's something I would ever, I don't know if it thing I do. At this point, I would say no, but I wouldn't count it out in the future. I feel like I would have so much to learn. It is so much more complicated than I ever could have imagined. And I think, or one thing that I've learned as an artist is it's important that like musicians, we should know what they're doing because their job is way more challenging than mine standing there and singing. I'll take standing there and singing any day over what all the work they have to do. It's incredible, really. It's really special. It's such a special process.
It does have to be. And of course, you look back and say, hey, this is great. And of course, first thing, press this button, but don't press that. That's one of the rules. So
Exactly.
And of course, we'll get to some of your songs in just a minute. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We hear a country singer-songwriter Paige Rutledge from outside Toronto here on The Mike Wagner Show talking about her start in music, winning some awards, including a number of food fests and getting started at a food place of all places, making me hungry, and talking about the studio process and how it came all together. And now let's have you sing some songs for us. Let's hear one of your songs as well, too, either Without Me from the Hey Girl, or what would you like to play for us, Paige?
Yeah, I'll do Without Me because, it's a single that's out there right now. So as I mentioned, I co-wrote this with a guy named Sean Moore. And it was kind of, I don't like to tell the story about this. So I'm not a very talk about my feelings kind of person. I saved that for the songwriting. And I went into the songwriting session and I usually I'm really smiley, super happy all the time. This is me. This smiles doesn't go away. I'm a very happy person. And I went into the songwriting session. I sat down with him and I was like, I have so many emotions today. And he's like, okay, let's channel this into a song. And I was going through this really weird relationship, kind of breakup, but not really a breakup. It was just this really kind of, I don't know. I was in such a weird place. And I was like, I want to write a song about it, but I don't want to be mean because I'm not mad. I was like, but I want to write a breakup song. So we came up with the idea to write a breakup song, but it's not supposed to be a sad breakup song. It's a happy kind of hope you're doing well, wonder what you're doing kind of breakup song. So this one is called Without Me. It is my most current single. It was released in January and is available on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, any streaming platform that you can find online. So here we go. Are you sitting at the bar with a bottle of Jack? Are you spinning old vinyls in the Man in Black? Are you lost without me, wondering what to do? Where are you? Are you throwing a dime in that old jukebox? Are you drinking it straight? We're on the rocks. Are you looking back at us, thinking it through? Where are you? Are you out on the town? Or are you stuck like me, trying to figure it out? I wonder every day if you found your way. I've been sitting here trying, but I'm having trouble finding the way I was before. Love settled the score. I guess it wasn't meant to be. So found your way. I've been sitting here trying, but I'm having trouble finding the way I was before. Love settled this score. I guess it wasn't meant to be. So I hope you found your way without me. Without me. Without me.
That's a fantastic way to go. Paige Rutledge,
Thank
Without
you.
Me on the Mike Wagner Show. And, lastly, after hearing that song, now go and eat ribs and don't, we might see you at Rib Fest.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Rib Fest was the first time I ever, if we're all going back to the ribs, at Canada's largest Rib Fest, that was the first time I ever played that song live. So that was like the birth of Without Me was the first time that song was heard. So somehow my life all seems to tie back to those Rib Fests.
That is amazing as well, too.
Yeah.
And besides, you talked about the song with going through a breakup without me.
Yeah.
How about some of your other songs? What do you base your lyrics on mostly? Besides, you talk about not having feelings, and how about the other songs? What do you base them on?
I do. So I try to take like a really kind of like authentic and vulnerable approach to songwriting because I know when I listen to other artists, first of all, I really respect when artists write their own music. I think that's really special. And I think songwriting is such a challenging thing, but it's such a beautiful thing. And so when I write songs, I really try to just put as much as myself out there because I think people can sense when you're being authentic. And I always want to be true to myself and I want to be authentic. And that's what I value most about, being a songwriter. I try to say as much as I can that is about me, but also I want to be able to connect with other people. So I try to write songs that are experiences that I'm going through, especially as like a young 20-year-old girl. Like there's so many things, relationships, boys, all that crazy stuff that I know other people are also experiencing the same thing. And I just try to stay really true to who I am in my songs and finding that mix of personal enough, but also broad enough that everyone else can relate to it and enjoy listening to the songs as well.
And very well, too. And don't forget to write a song about ribs as well, too. We'll definitely buy music.
Yeah, that'll be my next one. I'll work on that after this.
Oh, that'd be great as well, too. We'll have you play one more tune as well, too, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And what can we expect from you in 2020 and beyond, Paige?
Absolutely. Do you want me to play the song first or talk about
You know what?
2020? What do you want first?
Let's just go ahead and play the song first.
Play the song first?
We're into it. Go ahead.
So this one's called Just Friends.
No.
This one's called Just Friends. This one was my previous single just before Without Me, so I wanted to play this one just because I'll save the new singles for when they actually come out. But this one's called Just Friends. This is the one that there's the whole music video for it up on YouTube. So whoever's listening, if you like music videos, you should check this one out. It was really fun to make. First time ever doing a music video, as I said earlier, so it was just a fun process. And this one's kind of just a fun kind of like country bop is how I always describe it. So this one was off my EP From the Heart. So here we go. I never should have bothered to discover you. You got another lover to uncover and cover too.
Just Friends from Paige Rutledge on the Mike Wagner Show. Great job. And where can we find the song at?
That one is also on really any streaming platform. Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. I guess really it's available anywhere. I know most people use Spotify and Apple Music, so it can most definitely be found there. And everywhere else, Amazon Music, it's on YouTube, all that kind of stuff too.
And we'll check that out as well, too. And a few more minutes with Paige Rutledge here on the Mike Wagner Show. Who do you consider biggest influences in your career?
Oh, like career-wise, probably Carrie Underwood. I would say that, never missed her live when she's come to Toronto. I think I've seen her like 5 or 6 times now. And I just think she is, like, present day, such an inspiration. And she has just done things that no other artist has. Plus, she just can sing. Like, she can sing like nobody else. So definitely I would love to have a career like Carrie Underwood, because who wouldn't? I also really actually admire Taylor Swift. I think Taylor Swift is an absolutely phenomenal songwriter. And just, I mean, her career, again, you cannot even compare her to some other artists. So those two would be my more, like, on the musical side of it, Carrie Underwood, because, like, country music side, I mean, but to have Taylor Swift as an inspiration as well, too, in the songwriting side of it. And just, I'm also really digging Maren Morris right now. I respect Maren Morris and her ability to just be so, like, true to herself. And she just sings about what she wants, and she doesn't care what people think about her. And I think that's a really strong and, what's the word? You need it. Like, you really need it as a woman in the industry to not be afraid of what people think of you and to just sing about what you want and put yourself out there.
Talking outspoken?
Yes, outspoken. That's the word. Yeah.
That's
like, just sing what you want. I love that. I think that's really cool.
It is, yes. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point, Paige?
Oh, man, don't give up. I know that's probably so oversaid and cliche or whatever, but it's so true. I really believe that if you work hard enough and you don't give up, because it's hard. And, like, I mean, things are looking positive right now, and I'm starting to get some really awesome opportunities, and I'm so thankful for that. But I have also had my nights where I've played a bar gig and there's one person there besides the bartender, and it's defeating. It really, really is. But I think you have to learn from those experiences. And if you don't give up, if you continue to work hard, I think something good has to come out of it. I don't know what it will be, but there always has to be some positive outcome for your hard work, I think.
That is very true indeed. Of course, buy drinks around the house for one person, too. So once again, Paige Rutledge, Mike Wagner Show. Big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to it soon. And also a couple more things. Tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact? Can people purchase or listen to your music?
Absolutely. I would love that. So again, all of my music is on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, all other streaming platforms. My website is www.paigerutledge.com. Nice and easy, not hard to find. The rest of 2020 is looking pretty exciting. So hopefully, another single coming out at the end of August called Take Me Back to Tiki. And I actually have a tiki bar on my property at the cottage. My dad built a tiki bar a couple years ago. So the whole song was written at the tiki bar and is about, like, kind of just having this fun summer, take me back to summertime vibes. So that one's coming out at the end of August. And then, as I mentioned, hopefully the other single coming out either in the fall or early 2021. But really the main project going forward is to get another EP out there, kind of mid 2021. So that's the goal, ramping up for the rest of 2020 to get lots of songwriting sessions, co-writing sessions, and lots of new songwriting, and really pursuing that kind of side of it. Right.
That's amazing. Once again, Paige, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Look forward to it soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. We'll have it back on 2020 and beyond. And do us a favor, save us some rips.
I will. Thank you so much for having me, Mike. It was a pleasure.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.